Hey, Amanda, a soggy semifinal Monday, as you know from being out in it, in the state football playoffs. The old man got to stay in. 8 games on tap, including a double L battle between Darien and Southington. A rematch of their regular season matchup in week 2 won by Darien, but since then, the Blue Knights have not lost. Now, the rain affecting the turnout at Fontana Field in Southington. Pick it up in the first quarter. Darien leads 7-0. Southington's Brady Lafferty going up top to Shane Laporte. Hauls it in for the 25-yard touchdown. Southington doesn't get the extra point. They trail it 7-6. Second quarter, it's the same score. Blue Wave at the Southington 11. Darien quarterback Peter Graham scrambles, throws to Michael Manikis, who just gets in for the touchdown. Referee signals it's a score. Darien would lead 14-12 at the half. Fourth quarter, same score. Will Kirby runs it in from 16 yards out. Icing on the cake for the Blue Wave. Darien and Southington season in the semis for the 3rd time in 5 years.
They're a great football team, tremendous tradition. That's what I told the kids. We've never played up here. We've always had the luxury, if you will, of playing down our place. This is a very special group to me. I've coached them since 3rd grade, and they're awesome.
It was a great team win tonight, both sides of the ball. I mean, we really came to play. I mean, offense, we had plenty of chances, but we couldn't score. But thank God for our defense bailing us out once again.
And so Darien plays Newtown in the final. The unbeaten Nighthawks shutting down SIMSBURY's offense to get to its first state final after losing all 8 times it made the semis. Darien trying to win the double L title, Kai, for the 4th time in 5 years.
Now, Bloomfield High School, known for its dominant offense, the WARHAWKS have scored 560 points to lead the state so far this year, but their defense is really good, too. They've only allowed 22 points in 11 games going into tonight's game. In fact, I don't think they'd allowed a touchdown since Halloween. Semifinals at Phil Rubin Stadium against Plainville tonight. We had snow last week, rain this week. It certainly affected things for the WARHAWKS, and they turned to the run game early. Normally, they like to pass, but how about this? Brandon Bish takes it 55 yards on the first touch of the game for Bloomfield. That made it 7-0. Then later in the first, it's going to be Bish again, this time from about 14 yards out. He dances his way into the end zone. Extra point no good, so the WARHAWKS are up 13-0. And finally, Bloomfield gets things going through the air as junior quarterback Darren Bryden hits Denzel Patrick for his first touchdown of the postseason, made it 19-0. Bloomfield gets the 35-7 win in the semifinals of Class S.
I mean, that means everything for us. That means everything for this town, and we want to compete with some of the best teams that Bloomfield's had. I'm real proud of Plainville that represented the CCC, and we went down to Bullet Havens and won, and they scored on us tonight, and kudos to them, but we feel like our defense is going to win it for us. We know we got a tough game no matter who we play, who wins, Sheehan or Ansonia. We know we're going to face some really good running backs, probably one of the top running backs in the state, regardless of who we play.
And we now know who they will play. It's going to be Sheehan. They played the role of spoiler all playoffs long, and that's who Bloomfield probably wanted. They're not going to get that showdown with Ansonia. They knock off the Titans 30-22. Jordan Davis, the go-ahead touchdown with 8:18 to play to send Sheehan to its first state championship game.
And you said Bloomfield was miffed they gave up that late TD.
They were not happy.
Not happy campers. Practice will be hard tomorrow.
Yes.
A year ago, Daniel Hand beat Maloney for the Class L championship. Tonight, the Tigers and Spartans colliding again, this time for a shot at the title game. Maloney looking to avenge last year's loss and stop Hand's 35-game winning streak. Now, both teams with a lot of momentum coming into this on a soggy night on the shoreline. Hand won that one. They get rolling early. Colin McKay from about 20 yards out puts the Tigers on top. 2-point conversion makes it 8-zip. Rain coming down all night long at the Surf Club. Thanks, Piscatelli, for all that precipitation. Late first quarter, Hand driving. Phoenix Billings calls his own number from inside the 5. He would dive in. Hand up 15-zip. Kevin Frederick's Spartans on the move late in the first half, but their outstanding quarterback, Angel Arce, is sacked by Kevin Nizelik and Austin Doyle. Second half, Maloney trying to get on the board, but Arce's pass sails past his star wideout Cam Moreno. Connor Quinn is there all the way up the sideline, 50 yards to the house. The Tigers win their 36th straight victory, off to the state championship game for the 3rd straight year.
I know it sounds cliche, and I'm sure every coach says it. We go out to go 1-0 every week, and we've just been able to string together 1-0s. And, you know, we've got to improve our game and see what we can do next week.
We had it in our head that we'll probably be seeing them at the end of the year, but we take it one day at a time, and they're a great team. A lot of respect for them. They're going for a 3-peat too. They've done a lot of great things. It should be a great game for the state.
And the top 2 teams in the rankings will meet in that L final. Defending Class M champ St. Joseph stretches its winning streak to 22 with its second win over the year over FCIAC rival New Canaan. Jaden Sheridan, 5 TDs for the Hogs, who are in their 4th straight championship game.
Now, for the second straight week, Mother Nature, of course, not playing nice with any of us, and that includes Rockville. They weren't able to play at home again in the Class M playoffs tonight. They were forced to move their game to their game with Weston to Simsbury because of the rain. Their field a little too muddy to play on. Now, Weston didn't care where they were playing. They were ready to go. James Goetz throws it up early. It ain't pretty, but it got there. Jack Sawyer comes down with the score to make it 7-0. Rockville struggling. The pitch play here to Jason Clark hits the turf. It's wet, bouncing around. Weston's going to come up with it, and the Trojans get great field position, and they take full advantage here. Tyler Bauer muscles it in for the score, padding on to that Weston lead. And then after that, Jonathan O'Coin for Rockville trying to get something going, but he can't. Intercepted there. Another Rockville turnover, and Weston keeps their foot on the gas throughout this game. QB keeper here by Go-To finds the end zone. Trojans roll to a 37-0 win. Rockville fails to get to its first championship in 24 years, but a terrific season nonetheless. The Trojans are hoping for one more win on Saturday.
You know, I think we can still get better. I think there's a lot of stuff when we're looking at it. Obviously, we're looking at it with a coach's eye that mistakes we're still making, but there's room for improvement. But right now, I like how they're looking. We're happy to be back. We're not, we're not chasing an 80s team or a 90s team or the 2012 team. We're just trying to be ourselves.
Now, the all-ECC final was no contest. Sophomore Jack Sharp with the 3 touchdown runs, I should say, to lead Killingly to the win at Waterford, 35-7. Redhawks are back in the finals for the second time in 3 years. They beat Joel Barlow for the M Championship in 2017.